collapse. SNP in shamble as Sturgeon all talk no action while new coronavirus variant spreading out. Nicola Sturgeon has refused to rule out shutting down the Scotland-England border in the wake of the new Omicron variant, as political leaders scramble to contain its spread. Nicola Sturgeon has refused to rule out shutting down the border between Scotland and England amid growing fears around the new Omicron variant of COVID. BBC's Andrew Marr bluntly asked the Scottish First Minister whether closing the border with England was on the table. This comes after 2 Omicron cases were detected in Essex and Nottingham on Saturday. Ms Sturgeon explained, "It's very difficult, you know the nature of the border between Scotland and England, the nature of the flow across the border. But, we will do everything we can. It's always a last resort. We need to be open-minded about doing anything to keep the population safe right now. We are very concerned about the most recent developments about this variant." She continued, "I think we may need to go further to restrict travel in the next few days." The Scottish Government has already matched all the restrictions on travel introduced by the UK Government for English airports. This means arrival from 10 new red list countries will need to quarantine for 10 days. Ms Sturgeon confirmed that the variant, which originated in southern Africa, had not yet been detected in Scotland. But she added, "I'm asking people to behave in Scotland just now as if it is present." Ms Sturgeon was speaking ahead of her 15th party conference speech as SNP leader and First Minister of Scotland on Monday. The SNP's 4-day autumn conference opened on Friday. This comes as UK Health Secretary Sajid Javid warned this morning that the Omicron variant may make the current vaccines less effective. He added that rules mandating mask wearing on public transport and in shops would be a temporary measure. Speaking on Sky News, the Health Secretary said it is right to respond with stricter measures, claiming the new policies will buy us time to fully assess the risk of the new Omicron variant. He downplayed fears of Christmas being cancelled again, adding, "As for Christmas, I think people should continue with their planning. I think it's going to be a great Christmas." For recap purpose, as the Omicron variant continues to dominate headlines, here's what we learned from Nicola Sturgeon's COVID update today. A. 6 Omicron cases detected so far in Scotland. Some of the 6 cases currently detected have no link to travel to or from South Africa or the countries on the red list, which suggests there could be some level to community transmission. B. Significantly increase compliance with current rules. The Scottish Government is asking people to significantly increase compliance with the current rules in place, wearing face coverings, taking regular lateral flow tests, getting vaccinated and maintaining high levels of hygiene. C. No evidence currently to suggest disease caused by Omicron is more severe. According to the WHO, there is currently no evidence to suggest that illness caused by the Omicron variant is more severe. However, the First Minister said this remained under review and we will learn more in the coming weeks. She said, although more data is still required, there is no evidence at this stage to suggest that the disease caused by Omicron is more severe. D. Situation in Scotland stable. Although the First Minister couldn't provide a detailed update on the figures in Scotland, which will be published later today, she confirmed that the current situation in Scotland was stable. E. Travel restrictions could be tightened. Nicola Sturgeon has written a joint letter with Welsh leader Mark Drakeford to the UK government urging a 4 nations policy to introduce an 8-day self-isolation period for people arriving from overseas. The First Minister said, "We are proposing a tougher 4 nations approach to travel restrictions at this stage that would see people arriving in the UK from overseas asked to self-isolate for 8 days. In our proposal, they would take a PCR test on day 8 of their arrival, as well as on day 2. Currently 10 countries are on the red list and anyone arriving in Scotland from anywhere outside the common travel area, will be asked to take a PCR COVID test on the 2nd day of their arrival, and self-isolate until they get the result of that test back. Further actions will be considered in coming days. Further actions regarding rules and regulations to curb the spread of COVID will be considered in the coming days as we learn more about the Omicron variant. Hope remains that concern surrounding this variant can be reduced as we learn more. The First Minister said that she remained hopeful that as we learn more about this COVID variant, concern surrounding it will reduce rather than increase.